Hey everyone, bad lighting. I know, half my videos nowadays anyway, so I wanted to talk, I guess, more about mental health today. It's 2 a.m., and this is kind of a routine I like to do sometimes when I'm having a bad week. You guys paid attention to community posts, like bad mental health week for me. Last week, I struggle a lot with anxiety and such, and it's a lot. I don't want to burden you guys with my story here, but I know a lot of you guys have your own stories, so thought I'd kind of share this with you guys. I made one video on mental health and reptiles before, and I talked about how they kind of help mental health a little bit. And this is kind of one of my routines here. I like to, late at night sometimes, just kind of do my rounds. You know, the house is quiet. You hear people talking about how late at night some people stay up later than they really should because that's the time of day where they have no expectations. They can just kind of be in a quiet house when everybody's asleep. They don't have to answer to a boss. They don't have to answer to anyone. They just get to do them. So that's kind of what I do here. And I just love to see how amazing these animals are, these reptiles, especially so peaceful sleeping. You can see, I was about to say Aces. Well, trying to make me up. Getting more upset right now because of that. I miss Aces, but BDA right here. Now, BDA is a strong sleeper, so I tried to do this for a little fun video, but he woke right up. Obviously, to spite me, but let's see if he does it right here. Look at this little sleepy man. Very cute, very innocent. I don't get how anybody could just not see the cuteness in these guys, and you know, no fluffiness. I think he's kind of fluffy in my eyes. You little fluff ball. Look at him keeping his eyes shut. He's such a goof. But this just helps so much with anxiety and with mental health. I feel like just coming in here, seeing them be, you know, just these amazing creatures, and I just love that. I love that I can do that at 2 a.m. That I have kind of my own little reptile zoo in here that I can just, you know, spend time with them, sit in here, just watch them do their own natural behaviors and interact with them. And I don't know, I like to think I have a bond with them. I actually do have a boss at this hour, and he's crying right now, but on the way someone peeked their little head out. Yes, the Kamingi. I need a name for this little dude. Not gonna really focus because of all this humidity here, but very curious the last couple days peeking out. It's been really cool. Been working a lot with this little dude, and there's much more to come, but letting him settle in a little bit right now. Yeah, so I do have a boss, unfortunately, at this hour, but a very cute one at least. He's complaining. We've been trying to get him off the bottle at night, and he's not really into that. No, it's not reptile related, but anyway, guys. You know what? Let's actually say hi to the Kamingi a little bit. Why not? New reptile to the channel. I'm sure you guys are just as curious about this guy as I've been. Very, very adorable and cute, and you know, trying to get to learn this guy, trying to get to know this guy, and you know, make him part of the family here. Hey bud, what's going on? So I've been doing a lot of just hand placement nearby lately. And I've been doing that a lot with feedings, just making him walk onto my hand while I'm feeding. So, put my hand right there. And I don't know what we're gonna do. Let's see, you guys can see my hand. Creep it up a little bit. Are you gonna come say hi? Oh no, I'm running out of battery. You gonna say hi? I am not food. That's the only thing right now, is very food motivated. That was good. That was a good interaction there. We're both making progress here. I do gotta say that while this one is learning to trust me, I gotta learn to trust this one as well. That's a whole part of the process is, you know, it's not only earning the trust of the reptile, but you have to be comfortable enough that you don't do things kind of, I don't know if you can see the little hole there, but you gotta be comfortable enough that you could leave your hand there where the reptile is and know they're not going to bite you. And right now, obviously, this one hasn't earned my trust completely, like I haven't earned its trust, but his or her trust, but that's just a whole part of the process. But people don't really take that into account. They just think they're earning the trust of the reptile, which is a very big part of it, but you need that reptile to earn your trust too, because if you're always tentative and always kind of concerned about how that reptile is going to be, you're never going to have a fully, I don't know, bonded relationship there. Something Tom Crutchfield talks a lot about that I definitely think has a lot of meaning. But let's see, let's do another hand placement. Okay, got a hand placement there. There you go. Showing them that I'm not chasing, I'm not doing anything. We can just coexist in the same environment. And then other interactions are just totally positive with tongue feeding, nothing more positive than food, especially to the babies who are just using every little bit of that to grow and get bigger. Very cool though. Just a couple days since having this guy. Well, a week, but still pretty amazing. One of the other things I like to do during my 2 a.m. routine sometimes is count my successes. It's nice to know you do some things well and feel like if you have mental health issues, problems, you kind of overreact to them a lot. So one of my problems with the reptiles was I haven't seen the Aussie water dragon shed in a little bit, and I was just kind of concerned, making sure that they have their sheds, that they're growing, I'm feeding enough, all that elements, stuff that might not even have to do with a problem or aren't even really a problem. So then I do something like that. The one thing I don't like about this grow tent is sometimes it just opens on the inside and freaks them out. I do gotta say though, these guys are quite handleable for Aussie water dragons. It's pretty awesome. If I have one of these guys making a mess right now in their water, right down there, I think this is the one that actually is shedding. I don't know if you could really see. I don't want to mess up your little bath right there, but here, maybe if I zoom in. Maybe if I zoom in and get this focused. Yeah, you can kind of see, like right there, little floating piece still kind of attached, but this one's shedding. This is the one that has, I've been more worried about shed-wise. This one seems to still have, although getting darker, still have a fresher coat. This one was looking like it was getting ready to shed, or I don't know, I was just worried about the humidity not being high enough in here, and I don't want to oversaturate the substrate, stuff like that. But that's a win right there in my book. So got to see Aussie water dragons. They can go outside kind of soon, and nice to know I got to clean out that water. That's another thing, guys, that I want to talk about. I don't know how you guys are with your mental health, but with me, I try to get everything done, more so than, oh man, someone's screaming. I try to get everything done, and more than really any human should be able to do in a day without going crazy, and that makes mental health worse. And I think one of the things that really helped my mental health is being okay with doing some of a job and being able to make some sacrifices that you don't want to make, but you need to make in order to be productive in the future. So one of the things I want to recommend to you guys if you have mental health issues is feel free to not do the whole job one day. Make your reptile routine, which as much as we love these guys, any hobby, anything you do can sometimes be overwhelming and hard to deal with. So make your reptile routine better some days, or if you're having a particularly hard day, how you doing, bud? Then that day, maybe, maybe just cut out on something. Some days I'll go ahead and push back a feeding day one day, or do something sort of like that, where, it's not a vital thing. Obviously, food is vital for them, but they can go quite a bit, most reptiles, without being fed, especially if they're older adults, you know what I'm saying? So maybe I cut, or I go an extra day on some of my adults for feeding or something like that, and it will be okay. And sometimes you just need that time for yourself to get over, a panic attack you're having or a day with high anxiety, and you push it back a day. Obviously, if it happens too much, there's a fine balance. You also have responsibilities for these animals, but it's definitely still okay to do stuff like that. Keep reptiles, keep animals. It can all work out, and I definitely don't think you pushing back a feeding day or something like that in most cases is the end of the world. And I do think it's actually healthier for the longer term health of your reptiles, honestly, because you need that break, and if you keep putting off that break, it's just you're gonna want to go on this long break, and I don't know. I hope you guys get what I'm talking about. It's like someone was scratching at the glass today with their muddy little hands, and now we're burrowed under that little center piece of wood there. But back on topic, guys. You know, some people, and I kind of want to talk about this because some people might not think that taking care of living things is a good idea for someone who has mental health issues, to the extreme that some days they need to cut back on elements of care, I guess. And I don't think that's true, and I think as bad mental health can be, there are some positives to it, and I think it makes us honestly better keepers in a lot of regards. I think we're much more compassionate to animals and things we're taking care of. We do our due diligence with knowing when we need to take them to the vet and, you know, get things addressed. I think we have much more compassion in some regards. And yeah, you know, I wouldn't say that I love cutting back every day, you know, not every day. I'm trying to say, you know, I don't love cutting back on days where I have bad mental health. And, you know, I'd love to stay more towards a schedule that I set out. Somebody, I believe, is shedding on their butt there. This bulb was, the second bulb in the back was on. It doesn't get that hot, but it does go kind of close right over there. I was a little concerned that might be a burn, but I don't think it is. I'm watching. Looks lighter like a shed, but that's been one of my concerns. I'm keeping an eye on that, though. I turned it off. It doesn't get high. I don't know. But anyway, what we were talking about, I think despite my poor mental health quite frequently happening, everybody has their shortcomings too, granted. So, you know, not everybody's perfect, or not anybody's perfect. But despite my shortcomings, I do believe I have a pretty high standard of care here, much higher than the average keeper. And that's not to call anybody out. It's just, you know, with having to cut back some days, all my reptiles are in above average sized enclosures. All these species I follow to a T. A lot of advice for species I'm just getting, like the Kamingi. I would have never set the Kamingi up in this without Mike's advice, and of course I'm going to listen to that because, you know, he knows so much more about that species than I do. Point is while I might have to push back some care elements and, you know, make some cuts here and there, ultimately I think I'm doing a pretty good job here. And I'm you know, as hard as YouTube is on, first of all, mental health, and, you know, second of all, being frequent in, or consistent, I guess is the word, in your posting, which sometimes I just can't be because I'm having a bad week. It's something I want to share and help other people out. I don't know. This video is pretty random and definitely not typical, and definitely not going to do well on YouTube, but it's just something I wanted to talk about. Having mental health issues, if you have them, you find comfort talking about them, and I think that's kind of what I'm doing here. And I'm hoping just how I try to help you guys out with reptile stuff and share my reptile story, I'm sharing my reptile mental health story as well. And hopefully that helps you guys out too, because a lot of you said the first one around did. But instead of looking at this mug all day, I'm going to wrap it up here. Say hi to some of the guys here. I'm going to be trying posting twice a week, guys, but that's going to wrap it up here. But this is my, how many times am I going to say but, guys? This is my 2 a.m. reptile routine, turning on some lights, saying hi, just looking at these beautiful creatures, I guess, plain and simple. It makes me happy. Some of their silliness, which isn't really even silly, just them sleeping on logs, really just gives me happiness and makes me think about the bigger picture of the world. And I guess I just wanted to share that with you guys. So appreciate you guys tuning in. See you guys next time.